the trappings of immorality. It has been no secret to those of us who have forever questioned the immoral society that we have been forced to exist in. In this day, we are witnessing many of our greatest curiosities and fears come to manifestation. Even more so now in 2020, as this manufactured coronavirus and COVID-19 pandemic is present and an effective representation of this government's implications. Tradition and culture have been imposed upon our minds and spirits in spite of how immoral it has been revealed before our eyes, and our inner instinct of morality on what is seen and understood as immorality. We have been made to become imbued inside of a culture of violence, lust, greed, political tyranny, which has been asserted as a necessary act against a freedom never seen nor felt until this day and time, because it has only been given to us as an idea, even after the slavery of our ancestors of every human creed, which was very real and remains just as a reality unto this day, this very moment. And yet, even those before us were forced to come here against their consent from every area of the globe, either through the indentured servitude system of the plight of slavery, of most of us still after a time of indifference, embraced the culture that hated them in terms of an idea to help build this machine, instead of rejecting it because we love and honor them. The Western culture has presented Rome as a past era and therefore a failed one, when if one would pay close enough attention to the times this day, outside of its addictions, one would see that nothing of the sort is true of Rome's diminish within time, including upon immoral stance. Rome and its culture is very much alive this day, because America is but another child of Rome through the blood of his first daughter, Great Britain. The same evil exists this day because of the same formula being utilized, creating the same mentality. The same violence, slavery, political tyranny, greed, seduction and lust for power still exist. The world of sports has in fact been a very entertaining spectacle as well as a major distraction for the human intellect. It is a culture and tradition that has been injected into us as if it is a drug, and it has affected us as such. We have been manipulated into challenging one another in a world in which truly needs the collaboration of human morality to manifest a freedom much needed for peace for everyone. A state of peace many fail to realize have even been seen or felt within the human spirit. We have been fed lies of peace and harmony and what it takes to achieve it. We have been made to think and to feel that to achieve peace, it can only be achieved through war and bloodshed and not upon sane, diplomatic means. We understood that what was done to those before us of every culture in order to cultivate this was wrong, and yet most rally behind the same government system in which enslaved and killed them by calling yourselves Americans, when none of our ancestors were Americans, nor would they have even been willing to embrace the title because of knowing the core of its actions FO produce it. It has been a seductive tool implicated for the sake of a wicked government that only allows this to exist for to distract us from what is truly transpiring right in our presence, even within our own souls. It is a culture which has bred us into tools of personal moral destruction for the sake of wealth and a so-called security freedom when it only enslaves us more, trapping us into a lust and false sensation of satisfaction and sanity, which is in fact insanity. We have been placed into arenas as the slaves gladiators were to compete towards one another for money and fame, and as they were, still remained slaves to be traded back and forth to the highest bidders. But only now, you wear shirts with numbers upon your chest. We have been a part of something called sports that has an instinctive related entity within it, because of its fragmented status of the human condition, has caused in the human being a violent and killing spirit. In spite of this claim of the rise of civilization, there has been no rise in morality in terms of it. There has only been a rise in technology, but no exaltation of morality, and that is what we are faced with this day and time. The lust for blood again has been provoked, executed within the human being by the sanction of a cruel and wicked government system. The sports arena has again been demoted from a mere sport with rules and regulations to preserve the life and dignity of the human being, back into the light of killing for money, fame and glory drenched in the blood of mankind's brother. Other people have been raised to see and to feel this as entertainment, and yet claim a religion in which condemns it. In time, this activity has been justified by colorful and vibrant personalities to cause us to laugh and to desire to watch these men and women to execute their set gifts, for the sake of us feeling as if in what they do best, as we observe it, is causing inside of us some form of release in what we suffer each day of our lives, having to live in this Western immoral society. As time prevails, to simply see a victory is not enough. To see a man or a woman to stand holding a mantle of victory has been made not enough in effect to what we suffer in this society. We need to see something more than that now, and we never question our beings of why. We just follow the lust and cooperate to resolve it, and yet it's never truly fulfilled, because in fact it was never created to be able to be resolved, fulfilled. The knockout is not enough anymore in terms of boxing. We now need to see something more, as if we have been made addicts of something immoral, and we have. Can't you see it, feel it? And so now we have ultimate fighting, in which means no rules, no referees and no limitations, and in time, it will get worse. No more simple knockouts is desired anymore, because we are being subliminally guided into a direction of immoral destruction due to an immoral political degeneration that we have been made attracted to have been made addicted to, because of the frustrations manufactured into a government society that causes us to justify the venting of violence against one another, never realizing that we all have become victims of the same evil. Society will soon again demand death. Kill, kill, kill. So, what is happening to the human being? Why is it that we have such a lust for violence, blood and death this day? It has been bred inside of us by a culture and civilization that has forever been one claimed to be divine, and yet it has never brought any light to any community, but only death. This written is nothing to be looked upon a romantic, deep or anything as the such, but simply to say that do not allow all of these things to distract you from what is happening to you inwardly, while this government system come together privately in conspiring of how much more they will take advantage of us more than they have already, in turning us into the animals. Realize what is truly important in your life for the sake of growth, and no longer waste valuable time in helping someone get wealthy at the expense of your mind and soul, and what you truly need to be spending your time accomplishing. It is time to understand of how we are being made swallowed up by a civilization that is within no end of its expanding state of immorality. We are still dealing with Rome and her Western culture. There has always been past gladiators who have come out of retirement to assist Rome in her time of re-establishment, when matters at hand have been compromised so that things can be changed and therefore moved forwards into things that will in time take the world into a darker place. This is unfortunate, but this has forever been the case when it comes to Western culture. A culture that many of us fail to understand we are enslaved in, since Great Britain re-established the political formula of Rome with her wicked perception upon what is considered sophistication, which is obviously rooted in bloodshed. We are witnessing this same formula this day. Has-beens are simply isolated but never in fact rejected by the system, and then reintroduced for times as this of when cultural pestilence is made popular. David Anthony Brayboy.